Alright, I'm Otis Miller. I'm the developer of Interrogation Simulator, and I've just made a new update which completely overhauls the UI, giving us these nice little case file things. And yeah, I'm excited to play it and share it, and so I'm just going to do a playthrough now. I need to test it and fix it before setting the build to the main branch, so that's what I'm going to do. Let me just double check. I think I might turn the camera up a bit. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So one new feature. So we've got this nice little intro as these come in. If you saw the old UI, this is much better. And now you have to press this little icon to get a question out of the evidence. So I'm going to do that. And here we go. Going to jump right into the interrogation. So it comes in from the top there. And we have our question that we nabbed, and I'm going to skip these. If you want to avoid spoilers, go straight to the game, turn off the video, because I know everything. I made the game, I wrote these scripts, so this is definitely not a fresh, clean playthrough. I know everything that's going to happen. So yeah, but I'll explain my thought process. So we have this piece of evidence that these two are in a relationship, so we say, do you know her? When was the last time you saw her? He says, I've never met her. Well, they're in a relationship, so yeah. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Well done. You asked me about the relationship before revealing what you know. So yeah, he's patting us on the back because he is the instructor. So after getting that first push, we've now come below the rapport line, so we can't get any basic answers out of him. We can't get any evidence out of him. He'll refuse a DNA swab and his phone. So let's small talk a bit. So he said, tell me about yourself. So he says, not much going on with me. Okay, enough about that. What do you do for a living? I work at the local supermarket. Yeah, so I'm not going to ask that, because there's no need. It's just going to upset him. So I'll say, what do you do for fun? Nothing much. I play video games and watch stuff on my laptop. What a psychopath. Enough about that. Let's talk about his love life, because obviously this is his ex-girlfriend. Not great. Tell me more about your love life. You can see we're getting our rapport, the green line, and pressure, the red line. So I'll explain a little bit. I mean, he explains it, but I'll explain it for you just to save time. The rapport is like how the person feels about you. Do they want to tell you anything? Do they think you're their friend? Do they think you're going to help them? They won't tell you anything if it's below the white line here. The red one is ultimately like your score. That's the one that you want to get to the top in order to win the interrogation. Because that's how much pressure they're feeling. That's how likely they are to confess, either because of pressure or because of whatnot. So we need to keep the rapport above the white line whilst maximizing as much pressure as possible. So he says, yeah, some women are evil. You can't trust them. Okay, let's keep poking. Why don't you trust women? Because they'll take your heart and shit all over it. Okay. So we can accuse him, we can just move on, or we can say, yeah, I've had some bad experiences too. I'm going to say, again, if you want to avoid spoilers, I think the best answer is this one, personally. It depends how much you want to manage pressure and rapport. But yeah, let's level with him. So we get a nice chunk of rapport for that. Enough about that. So you understand me? Yeah, he thinks we understand him. So we're doing well. So now, it's not a bad time to say, okay, since we understand each other, can I have access to your phone? Okay, because he's the instructor, he's just telling us straight. Okay, but it will cost you some rapport. Click the back button to return to the case file and view the evidence. So this is new, so we'll go back, and it takes us straight to the page here, and we can review the information that we just got from him. So threatening and abusive messages from the suspect to the victim, including, I'm gonna kill you. So that's something. So yeah, we can get a question out of that. You sent these messages. So let's jump back in. Now we have our question here, so we can say, what is your relationship with the victim? We broke up a few weeks ago. We left on good terms, though. Well, that's inconsistent with that kind of text message. So you sent these messages? Oof. Yeah, I got really angry, but it's not my fault. She cheated on me so many times. Well done. You got me to lie before hitting me with the evidence. Good. You see, that's the crux of the game. We want to confront them. Excuse me, just recovering from a cold. Yeah, you want to get them to lie and then confront them with the evidence. So now we'll say, let's have DNA swab. Okay, but it will cost you some rapport. So we'll go right ahead and do that. The victim is covered in the suspect's DNA. It could only be explained by recent intimate contact between the suspect and the victim. So the reason we say recent intimate contact is because if we were just to if we were just to hit him with that now, just go, yeah, your DNA was found, he'll be like, yeah, well, she's my ex-girlfriend. Maybe we saw each other, maybe we hung out a couple times. So what we want to do is get him to say, when was the last time you saw her? Weeks ago. So now he's pinned down as saying he hasn't seen her for a while, so his story's going to change. If you haven't seen her for weeks, why was your DNA found all over the victim? See, and that's hit him hard. That's a very good trade of rapport for pressure. I mean, damn, you got me. Well done. If you had asked me about this without first getting me to lie, I could have explained it some other way. So, what we want now, I think, yeah, I mean, maybe I'll let you, well, let's go for a perfect score. So, for one thing, we can say, do you believe in God? And he'll say, of course. And I think he's being truthful because he's not getting a big pressure hit for that. He seems, in with that question. And he seems kind of guilty as a result. Do you think God is watching us now? Yeah, maybe. So he's feeling guilty, and talking about God makes him feel like he knows you a bit better and that you know him a bit better. So God is super effective with this guy. So we'll use our appeal. Now with appeal, we get the same questions for each suspect. And the appeal I'm going to make, because we know this guy's weakness, again, if you want to avoid spoilers, don't watch this video. Yeah, I'm making an appeal, and I think this guy really truly believes in God, so I'm going to say God knows what happened. Oh, God. Yes. Yes, good. And we can ace this, and we can go, right, this is it. It's a very serious crime. It's not a question of did you do it. It's a question of why you did it, and yeah. So it's time to confess. So now it's kind of like a little quiz just to make sure we were paying attention. So was she just a random stranger, or were they in a relationship? They were in a relationship. If I get the answer wrong, we lose pressure and we won't be able to get a perfect score. So you two were in a relationship. Drunken rage, we asked him about drugs. I'm not sure if we did, but anyway, we know that he feels like she treated him badly, so she treated you badly. And bingo, you're guilty. Okay, you got me. I did it. I confess. I murdered the victim, and you are going to have a great career as an interrogator. That's it. I have no more to say. When you're finished interrogating the suspect, press the return button to leave. You will be scored based on the suspect's pressure. Cool. What if I have more questions? If you click this, you get a link to the Discord. Okay, so we're going to back up from here. We get our score now. S rank. Because I made the game, and I know everything that's going to happen. And there we go. So now we've unlocked the next two cases, and we're just going to go through them in order. So the stalker. I wish I could get like the JCS or Stranger Stories, like that really deep American voice to read these bits. Jane Doe, 21, went missing on Saturday, the 11th of June. No, I'm not going to do that. She was last seen by her mother at 10:55 a.m. that day as she went to go meet some friends. Once she had been missing for a few days, a search began. Out of all the people who knew the suspect well, only 3 of them did not have a good alibi. Interrogator, that leaves you to figure this one out. You should interrogate all suspects before accusing any of them. If you leave an interrogation, you can come back at any time and pick up right where you left off. Yeah, so the game saves every time you ask a question. So there she is. People say Jane was a bright, cheerful person who always lit up the room, a beautiful woman who was kind to everyone. Her body was found in a shallow grave in the nearby woods. Due to the condition of the body, DNA evidence is scarce. Ian Anderson appears to be obsessed with the victim. He has many candid photos of her on his phone and checks her social media constantly. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I made a mistake. I have to reset this case first. There we go. We shouldn't have that evidence yet. So all we have is this. Who she was and her body and the fact that DNA evidence is scarce. So yeah. And here we have our 3 suspects. So let's start. We have the boyfriend. Ex-boyfriend. We have a friend. And we have another friend. Okay, so let's interrogate the ex-boyfriend, most likely suspect. Do you know why you're here? I still can't believe it. I spoke to her mum today. She's a complete mess. Okay. What were you doing that Saturday? I went out to walk my dog. Simple. Okay. When was the last time you saw her? I haven't seen her since we broke up. What is your relationship with Jane? We dated for like 6 months. I broke up with her a few weeks ago. Okay. Simple, straightforward. Alright, what do you think of Ian Anderson? Wait, you mean you haven't arrested that sick son of a bitch yet? You need to hurry up and arrest that psycho. He's been stalking her since they went to school together. Check his phone. Okay, we can do that, or we can keep interviewing him a bit longer. And what do you think of Christian Brent? Oh, Mr. Friendzone. Yeah, he was always trying it with Jane. He seems harmless, though. Bit of a pussy, to be honest. Okay. So now we can't go straight into... I mean, there's not a lot we can do with any of this. We've got a bit of information about the other suspects. And we can not ask for any of this stuff. Why would I do that for you? Yeah, he doesn't like us. He doesn't want to give us his DNA, his phone. But let's get him to like us. Tell me about yourself. I'm just a driver. Not much to say. What do you do for a living? Super driver. You know, the taxi app. What do you do for fun? You know, the usual. Watch football, drink. I listen to podcasts while I'm working. Sounds like a psychopath. How is your love life? Again, pertinent question. I broke up with Jane a few weeks ago. Not looking to settle down just now. You stay in touch with your family? Not much. I see them during the holidays. My mum calls every now and then. Do you drink or do drugs? Yeah. Okay. You drink a lot. Frankly, that's none of your business. Well, I'm an officer of the law, and actually it is our business. Fine. I had a drinking problem, but that was a long time ago. I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to ask, is that why you did it? Because it's asking a bit much. And do you believe in God? Sure. So, not like the instructor. He believes, but it's not like a strong point for him. He's not going to go on about it. Okay. So now we've got a little bit of rapport, and pressure is just on the line. So we need enough pressure to make sure that he gives us this info, and we do have it. So we'll say, all right, since we're friends now, can I have access to your phone? That's kind of personal, but okay. And can I get a bit of DNA? Okay. So we might have hooked up a couple times since we broke up. Okay, so he's telling us that if we find his DNA on her, that's not really a reason to suspect him because he's the ex-boyfriend and they might have hooked up a couple times since they broke up. But maybe he's lying about that. Who knows? Well, I know because I made the game, but you don't until you play it. So, all right. We have a bit of info and we have a bit of stuff. So the victim does have some traces of his DNA. Okay, so we can ask him about that. And let's look at the phone. There's nothing out of the ordinary on Jim Driver's phone, so no hit there. So we can go back and talk to him and say, what were you doing that Saturday? I ain't talking to you. That's below the thing. It's like, look, we're buddies here. Relax. Okay, he doesn't want to relax. How am I supposed to relax? Okay, we can say, look, can we get you anything? Are you hungry or something? You know what? I could murder a beer right now. Poor choice of words. Look, don't say that. It's a very serious crime. Wait, and you think I did it? No, but you might be involved. Well, then get on with it and arrest that son of a bitch then. Okay, so the bad cop routine does not work with this guy. He's a tough guy. So let's appeal. You know what we can do is we can say, let's cool off. Let's cool off. Let's talk to the other guys. Let's talk to Ian Anderson and see what we can learn from him. Do you know why you're here? No. That's probably a lie. What do you think, a gym driver? Her ex-boyfriend, he's a scumbag. He doesn't appreciate her beauty. Okay, we could say that's true, or gain a bit of rapport, or say a scumbag. Why? He treated her like dirt, never appreciated her. Okay. So he's getting angry. He's feeling the pressure. He's feeling a little bit hot just from talking about that guy. Okay, what do you think of Christian Brent? I don't really know him. Okay, interesting. So, well, he's not going to answer any of these questions now because we put him under too much pressure. You don't understand me. You're just going to lock me up. I know it. You're just going to use that against me. Okay, so we could say, no, chill. We're friends here. Relax. Relax, okay. Tell me about yourself. I live with my mum. What do you do for a living? I don't have a job. Do you have money problems? Could be a potential murder motive. Not really. I don't pay rent and my mum buys me whatever I need. I guess if it would help me get a girlfriend. Okay. What do you do for fun? You know, anime, games. This guy, you see how this guy's responding really well to small talk. It's probably because he doesn't have any friends and he's quite happy to have just anyone to talk to. How's your love life? Oh, source of pressure. I'm not exactly popular with the ladies. Okay, enough about that. Do you stay in touch with your family? Yeah, I live with my mum. My dad left when I was small. My mum really looks after me. Okay, enough about that. Do you drink or do drugs? Never. I believe you. Do you believe in God? I believe there's something out there. Okay, it's pretty much what most people say, and again, wasn't a huge source of pressure change. And now you see we might have gotten too friendly with him because now his pressure is below the line. So if I try and ask him a question, do I have to answer these? So even this guy's not scared of us now. Can we have some of this? I don't see why I should. I mean, if it's not serious, if I'm not a suspect, why would I give you that shit? So we could say, all right, appeal. You're obviously very smart. I think it's a bit of a red herring for this guy because this guy does not have a big ego. He does not believe himself to be smart. What does he care about? Probably he cares about what his mum would think. Yep. See, again, if you want to avoid spoilers, if you don't want the game to be too easy for you when you play it, don't watch this video. But if you want a guide, this works pretty well, I guess. Okay, so we've done a bit too much small talk. We need to remind him that this is a serious crime. And we know he's involved somehow, and yeah. So now, give me access to your phone. Give me that DNA swab. Okay, now let's have a look at this. So his DNA cannot be found anywhere near the victim. Poor guy. Ian Anderson appears to be obsessed with the victim. He has many candid photos of her on his phone and checks her social media constantly. So this guy is a stalker. Huh. We know that you're stalking her, so we can go back to him and say, what is your relationship with her? So we want to get him to lie before hitting him with this evidence. She was my gal pal. When was the last time you saw her? Not for a long time. We sadly didn't stay in touch after school. Okay. Actually, you stayed in touch because you were stalking her. Oh no. You lied to me. Oh no. You're going to lock me up now, aren't you? Why would we do that? Because I'm a stalker. I've got pictures of her all over my phone. I even saw her the day she went missing. Okay. So, give me a reason not to accuse you right now. I saw her that day. What did you see? She was walking to meet her friends. Some car pulled up and she got in. I figured it was her friend or her boyfriend. So now we have questions added to the other suspects. Okay. Okay, I've heard enough. What do you think? I think, as a thorough investigator, we should follow all leads before making any accusations. So let's meet Christian. And now we see we can ask him a couple things. We got some information from the ex saying that this, and we've got this information that he might have been the one to pick her up in a car. Someone might have picked her up in a car, assuming Ian Anderson is telling the truth. So, do you know why you're here? Yeah, it's tragic what happened. What were you doing that Saturday? I was at home playing video games. Monster. Maybe I was taking a nap. Maybe I was taking a nap. When was the last time you saw her? On Tuesday. I dropped by where she works to say hi. What is your relationship with Jane? We're good friends. Nothing more. Huh. Okay. What do you think of Ian? I don't know him that well, but he's pretty damn weird. An old school friend of Jane's. I'd definitely look into him. Okay, so another person pointing the finger at Ian. What do you think of Jim? Jane's ex-boyfriend. He doesn't respect women, and I think he has anger issues. He's been pretty upset since she broke up with him. Do you think he might have done it? Okay. So he's pointing the finger at both of them, it seems like. Okay, and so now he's like, he's not taking this seriously. I'm being too serious. Let's make friends with him. So tell me about yourself. I just got my degree in mechanical engineering. Huh, you must be really smart. Ha, thanks. He's shown us his weakness. He's shown us his weakness. You're obviously very smart. Well, you know, mechanical engineer. Okay, well, you're a very smart guy. So you know that we can have this information, that we're going to get it eventually. And if you have nothing to hide, give us the details. So now we can jump back, have a look at that. There are traces of Christian Brent's DNA. But his phone has nothing out of the ordinary. Oh, going back. Let's jump right back in here. So with the evidence is piling up. We've got quite a few pages of evidence here to do with this case. Okay. Let's grill him on a couple of these things. So what's your relationship? We're good friends, nothing more. Her ex-boyfriend says you wanted more. Oh, yeah, well, he's not to be trusted. To be honest, I think he did it. So we can poke him a bit, or we can leave it. I'm going to poke him. No, I wouldn't reduce her to an object like that. We're friends, and I admire her femininity. That's all. Okay. What were you doing that Saturday? I don't want to talk to you. It's all right. Relax. Relax. What were you doing that Saturday? I was at home playing video games. Maybe I was taking a nap. Okay, so why would there be traces? Oh, well, yeah, we're friends. We give each other hugs and kisses sometimes. So the detailed analysis of the DNA is inconclusive. There are traces, but not enough to be certain. Okay. May seem unnatural, but let's jump back into the small talk. What do you do for a living? I just graduated a few months ago, so I'm still looking for work. It's tough to find work these days. Yeah, money isn't an issue for me, though. Okay. What do you do for fun? Oh, you know, video games, YouTube videos. What kind of games? Oh, the usual. I like logic and puzzle games. I like to read. You know we didn't come here to talk about video games, right? It's a reference to the suspect that this is based on. Okay, so let's go with this bluff. When was the last time you saw her? On Tuesday, I dropped by where she works to say hi. You were seen picking up the victim. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, I did see her that day. I saw she was on her way to her friend's house, so I offered her a ride. You didn't think to... So, let me get this straight. So this guy, he's got this investigation and everything, and it turns out he did see her that day, now that there's no way out of it. He did actually see her, but he didn't think to mention that earlier? Oh, I guess I just forgot. So, yeah, I dropped her off near her friends, and that was that. Okay. So, we got a bit more information about him. He's seeming like it could be him as well. Everyone's looking a bit guilty right now. So let's do the rounds again. Let's talk to Jim again. So now we've got a few more questions to ask him. Now we're sort of out of credibility at the moment, so we're just gonna have to. He's not gonna talk to us. I ain't talking to you. But what we can do is say we can bluff this. We can say, hey, We saw you picking her up. What? Hell no. Okay, we don't think he's lying. That bluff didn't work. So we do think it was Christian Brent who was the one who picked her up. Okay. Let's appeal. Let's appeal. Their family. So remember when, again, I know the answer, so it's easy for me, but if you remember right at the beginning of the interrogation, the first thing he said was he was concerned about what her mother thinks, so maybe he does care. Their family deserves to know. So is this a good appeal? Yes, it's a good appeal. It's a decent appeal. Okay, her poor mum. Okay, were you treated okay? No, I want to go home. Okay. So with this guy, we're in his bad books. He doesn't like us. He's not going to talk to us. So when you play the game, you could do things differently. You could actually get a bit more information and a bit more insight into the case, but he's really not going to tell us much. So we just have to jump right in with these. There are traces of your DNA on the victim. Yeah, well, we were dating up until recently. That doesn't prove shit. And yes, indeed, that's true. That is the case. It doesn't prove shit. Apparently, she broke up with you. What does it matter? Were you upset she broke up with you? That's kind of personal. Need more rapport. So yeah, maybe you can try and push your rapport up and then follow that line of questioning to see where it goes. But for me, I'm just going to slam the desk angrily and then leave. What the hell is wrong with you? I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think he did it. Let's look at this guy. So there's nothing more we could do with this guy. He has full pressure. He looks and feels guilty. He's a stalker. He has every motive. We could press him now and get an interrogation, and we would get a good reputation out of that. People would not blame us for thinking it was him. However, this one lied about a very basic detail, very basic but very important detail. So I don't even care about all of this. I'm gonna go, this is a serious crime. It's not a question of did you do it, but why did you do it? And boom, so he's guilty, time to confess. You were friends, but she wanted more, or you wanted more? As we know, he was the one who was in the friend zone, so you wanted more. Did he hate her, or did he love her too much? He loved her too much. You're guilty. Okay, yes, I did it. She always went for the Chad, the chauvinist, but she never looked at me that way. I thought if she could just feel what I felt, just for a second, then maybe she'd come around. But things got out of hand, and then it was too late. I panicked. I didn't mean for this to happen. Oh God, what have I done? And that's that one, so we'll leave that and go. Master Interrogator, who developed the game. Case complete. Case closed. We can we can actually go in and we can push for a confession out of him, and it would actually just lower our score, because at the final question where we say like you killed her, he'll say no, I didn't kill her. He'll lose a tiny bit of pressure, and then we'll lose our perfect score. We'll go from an S rank to a rank. So we don't want to do that. And because we're doing so well, we're unlocking them nice and fast. I need a sip of water. And I'm just going to pause the recording quickly here just to make sure it's working.